So walk to for 2025 Dartmoor walk, valley walk today. It's been raining hard overnight, the moor is shrouded in mist and super wet. All the rivers are high, so not a great place to go today. So we've come down to the old railway line really. So we're just above Shore Prior on the River Meavy, and then this is the access. So if you come down from Clearbrook down the road, you can turn over a bridge. The old what's now cycle path runs along the bridge just there, and we're going to walk down this track here to what's called the Scout Hut. You can see we just parked by the end of it. All right, dog taking a shit. All right, so we'll go down to the Scout Hut, and then there's a track we can follow through to the Dewerstone and up onto the top of the Dewerstone. We might get as far as Shore Prior, but as you can see, there's a fair bit of water in the rivers, so this is a good option for a claggy, horrible day. Reasonable track, navigation's not too difficult, so we'll see how we get on. So it's a good track down from where we parked, short walk. The track goes all the way down to the Scout Hut, which is a lovely building. You can just see there's quite a lot of water in the river. Even the ducks are thinking better of it today and hiding. So a little way in, the track departs from the river and kind of cuts off a corner here. And if you go across this field, you can see the gate over there. So on the outside bend of the river here is a really nice swimming spot, but again, not for today. So we'll just stay on the track and work our way down towards the Scout Hut. It's not a very long walk to get into the Scout Hut, so we'll pick it up when we get there. So if you didn't want to walk along the track, at the end of this little meadow with the swimming spot, you can duck through under the old railway line here. And there is a path that follows along the edge of the river down to just past the Scout Hut. In fact, I think if you fought it, you could probably follow it all the way down to the Dewerstone car park. But on a nice summer's day, that's quite a nice walk, because you've got the option for the dogs to go in and out of the water at lots of spots. But for today, we'll just take the easier option along the track. Really pretty little cutting just on the walk in, where you can see the moss covered bank, typical sort of like Dartmoor really. So this would have been an old railway line or just an access track, not sure which really. So this whole valley now is National Trust property, so there's good public walking and access across a lot of this, but some of it can be quite challenging terrain. Okay, so this is as good as it's going to get really in terms of pedestrian access. So we're just coming up to the gate, which marks the start of the Scout Hut property. You can see somebody's parked down here, probably staying at the house. It's a beautiful house. I'm not sure whether it's Duchy or National Trust who owns it, but it's leased out, I think, to Spirit of Adventure, which is a local outdoor education company. So you quite often see groups here doing outdoor ed type activities. And it is quite a popular dog walking area for those in the know, for obvious reasons. Good access, nice compact walking. So you can see the river's working its way down the valley. You can walk down along there. As I said, there's a path works its way along there, and you'll often see activities and children camping and stuff here when the weather's a bit better than today. So after literally 5-10 minutes of walking, you come to what I still call the Scout Hut. Not sure if that's its official name anymore. And the track just runs on straight on through past here and on into the woods. Plenty of water coming off the hills. Again, as you get past the Scout Hut, just here, as the path goes on down there, which you can follow, which goes back to the Dewerstone car park, down along the east bank of the Meavy. Meavy's looking very angry today. Or if you stay on the higher path where we're going, then this picks up the path that goes up towards the climbing crag at the Dewerstone, from the Dewerstone car park down at the bottom of Shore Prior. We're going to zigzag up through the hill following a track, get out on the top. But there are many ways to go through the woods here, depending upon what you want to do. So you can do a nice little circular walk from the Dewerstone car park at Shore Prior up the access track, and that will bring you along to here, and then you can go back along down by the river or vice versa. So you can make up short loops or long loops here. It's a good little walking area really for a day like today. Quite dangerous by the river today though, particularly for the dogs. So after about a quarter of an hour's walking all told, 10 minutes or so down to the scout hut, another 5 minutes on the higher track, you come to this junction here. Now if we carry on, this will take you into the top of the Dewerstone crag, down a couple of little zigzags, and then quite a good bit of, in places, steep path back to Shore Prior and the Dewerstone bottom car park. Quite a nice walk on down there. Well, our way on is going to be up these zigzags here. Okay, and this is going to take us up, and then we can pop out at the top of the hill and go to the Dewerstone crag. So this is the way the Royal Marines used to run up when they were running up to collect their wages years ago. So we're off up there this morning. I don't think we're going to see much, it's all clagged in, but we'll pick our way around. Come on, come on, good boy. Dog's always got to be in front. Good boy, Ralph. We'll spot the sheep up here in a minute. So you follow your way up the incline tramway as was. There's a lot of granite sets in on the path, and clearly you can see evidence like here where they'd have set the rail holders. So clearly this was either taking carts or some kind of winch probably up at the top here, or railway wagons for bringing stone up and down, because there's a set of quarries up the top here. Well, for bringing stone down, they wouldn't have brought stone up, would they? And then extracting it down the valley. So this whole area would have been fairly extensively mined and quarried back in the day, for those of you who like that sort of thing. But we're just walking out onto the top here, and there's the remains of probably what was the winding house there. There's paths and things all through this woods that you can explore if you want to. But for us, as we get to the top of here, the way on today is going to be to cut back on ourselves, because we're going to Dewerstone Rock, not the climbing area. I'm not going to call it a tour because it wasn't really a tour. Let's just have a little look at this, if there's anything of interest left here. So ancient engineering. That was clearly a wheel in there with the winding gear on it. And then the cables would have run out through here and off down the slope. But we're going to double back on ourselves onto the horizontal path heading south again. Normally when you get up onto the Dewerstone you'll have great views south towards Plymouth Sound and all of that, but not today I don't think. Where's the old dog gone? Here he is. They cover some ground, don't they, these dogs? Come on! Good boy. Good boy. Good dog. Got to be in front. So again, you can wander almost with impunity through the woods, either up or down slope. And there's some common access land up on the top, which I'll pop out onto, which is where we're heading. Beautiful old oak woodland, typical Dartmoor. As I said, all National Trust property now, I believe. I'm not sure what the history was in terms of the estate previous to that, but like a lot of these Dartmoor quarries, example of partially dressed stone. Imagine that, what's that, 2 meters by half a meter by a meter? That's got to be like 3 or 4 tons, 2 or 3 tons probably. A lot of work gone into that for it just to be abandoned here. Okay, they were hard in those days, weren't they? But lots of examples, and there's quarries all the way along here, little cut-ins where they've been quarrying out. Just walk along the track and you can see the spoil heaps here. enormous amount of work, these old quarries. And then cut through quarries. There are various paths that cut up from here to the left that go up onto the common access land, so I don't think it really matters which one you pick or use, but we're just going to walk along here as far as we can. Moody Dartmoor quarry. No idea there's a sheep halfway up the wall at the back, which Ralph's quite interested in. Good boy, come here. Don't want him scaring them off the ledge. So we're just going to pick our way along here through these quarry workings and then try and get up onto the top. So eventually you're going to walk all the way along. It's not a long walk, again another 5-10 minutes. You get to the last little quarrying cut and it's pretty obvious because the track kind of stops. You got the normal spoil heaps and stuff off on the slope, and then you're back into a little bit of a path that's going to pick your way up onto the common land and to the tor. There are rock tors scattered all the way through this wood, so you can see in the mist behind Ralph down there is part of it, and we're up above the Dewerstone Rocks, which is a really famous climbing area in the southwest. So just down there where these two valleys meet, you've got the Plym Valley coming in from the left and the Meavy from the right, and they'll meet at the car park down the bottom. So you can work your way up and down this slope if you're a bit more adventurous, okay, and you're all fairly well confined, but we're going to pick our way up out through here and go up to the tor. I said there's plenty of paths to cut up left on the walk in, so I don't think it really matters which one you take. I quite like walking to the end and then coming up this way. So after a couple of minutes of picking your way up, you cross an old stone wall, which you can just see there. Then you pop out of Dewerstone Woods onto the access land. And then we've got the Dewerstone in front of us. You can see the Dewerstone from a lot of places on Dartmoor, so it's quite high, very prominent. Well, a lot of places on the South Moor anyway. And as I said, normally there'd be lovely views up here, but not today. So there you go, as I said, nice views down to Plymouth Sound over there in the mist. Lots of options from here, so you can go back down, variations on the way we come up. You can go straight down this slope, which will take you to the climbing area, Dewerstone Rocks, and you have to pick your way down through the hillside. A little bit of scrapping, but not difficult. I think you can probably find your way back across the open access land back to the starting point, picking up one of these tracks. Or you can go on towards Shore Prior car park at the top of the Plym, which I think is what we're going to have a go at. And again, can't see anything, but we'll just walk it anyway. So lots of gentle ascent. You're going to be walking for a couple of kilometres, I think. I'll check on the map to get up to Cadover. But it's a gentle climb. I think there's quite a few paths that come through here. As long as you stay on the top or the flattish part and you keep the Plym on the right hand side, which is what we've done. I don't think it matters which path you take. And then you're going to pick up this boundary wall system. We're going to walk along the common land side of this wall system. We are surrounded by roads here, folks, so if you get lost in here, just keep walking, okay, away from the Dewerstone, and you will pick up a road eventually, like in about half an hour or so, and then you can work out where you are. So don't get too stressed if you find the navigation a little bit challenging in these conditions, but it is pretty straightforward at the end of the day. Okay, and you can always turn around and go back the way you come. So it doesn't really matter which way you walk, provided you keep this boundary wall on your right hand side, and you don't need to be right next to it. Just be aware that it's off there. And eventually, after a trudge, okay, the hill starts to drop away. You can just see through the mist. There's a cross here. It's the house, can't remember what it's called, in that little coppice there, and we're just walking into Cadover now, so you can see the road ahead of us down here. Cadover Bridge, and then there's the Plym coming down. So that turning up there goes up to the quarry, to the China clay works. It's absolutely rammed in the summer, but there are many people up here today. As you say, if you get lost, if you just keep it walking east, basically you're going to pick up this road somewhere off the common access land that we were on, so it's all good. We go down, cross the bridge, and then try and work our way down the left-hand bank of the Plym back down towards the Dewerstone car park. That's the next plan. So, car park at Cadover Bridge. We come out just before the trees. Come here. Came over the bridge, and then this is there's a lot of water in here today, so I've got to be a little bit careful with the dog because he doesn't understand. The path on picks up through here, and then there's a path down to the bottom car park which we're going to take and walk down this wooded valley really. So that's the plan, and keep the dog out of the river because I'm not going in after him. So not today of course, but there are loads of little dipping and swimming spots along this river. This is just a boulder filled plunge pool sort of like affair. So there's a couple of famous spots along down here that a lot of people go to, but you can get into numerous pools along this valley for a quick swim if you want to. But I said not today. So you can get your bearings against the car park. It's all fairly straightforward really. This is a popular walk, so again in the summer you're going to be up against dogs and walkers the whole way down here. I might see a few today I guess. So many little paths working its way along here. I'm trying to keep the dog away from the river a little bit. I have paddled this back in the day, must be 35-40 years ago now. I say paddled it, survived it really, it was a bit too hard for me, but great fun. It's quite a dangerous river, a bit of a classic Dartmoor chick for those that like that sort of thing. So we're going to try and stay up away from the river a little bit, but I think there's a number of paths along this bank that you can pick, and it's just pick your way along and down towards the other car park. I said in the summer, find a swimming spot, get your bottle of wine out, but not today. If you're worried about trying to find a path, because there's lots of little tracks and things, basically the main path follows this old pipeline. So provided you're seeing the pipeline smashed, and some of it's cast iron, some of it's clay. As long as you're finding that, then you won't be going too far wrong. But don't worry if you miss it, because it'll all end up in the same place. Yeah, so it's just a nice gentle walk down through the woods, all the way down to the bottom car park. So eventually you'll walk down, keep following the track, it comes away from the river, you come down to the gate system here. You've got choices as ever, but effectively you can see from the signpost there's one path goes down the road and the other one carries on down the side of the hill. So you'll get back to the Dewerstone whichever one you take, but the left-hand ones tend to take you across to the main road and then back down through the village, whereas we would want to pick our way down through the forest to get back to the car park. So whenever you get a path junction, just keep turning, an official path junction, just keep going to the right and you'll be fine. There's another little one down the bottom of here, and you need to go right again. If you make mistakes, not the end of the world, it's just a few hundred meters more and a little bit of tarmac walking as opposed to walking in the mud. So if you're trying to go the other way, which is an option of course, then from the corner of the car park there's a set of steep little steps that take you up to the cut round track. We're going to find our way back across the river now, so if you've never been here, which we've probably all been here, haven't we? Come on. And the way on is round the back of the car park here. Just got to control the dog here a little bit. Wait! Good boy, good boy. Wait. So here's the footbridge over the River Plym, and this is the confluence between the Plym and the Meavy. So you've got choices here as to which way we go back. You can cross on the road bridge, and then there's a path that goes up the other side all the way back to where we started. It's a bit sort of like single bouldery step walk. Come here, Ralph. Ralph, come here. Come here. Good boy. But this is in full flow today. So here's the Plym. Go on, Ralph. Go on. Ralph doesn't like it on here. Go on, boy. Come on. Come on, Ralph. Come on. Good boy. Good dog. Good dog. There you go. Come on. So we got choices. So if you go off across here, you go up the Meavy and just work your way up the bank of the Meavy, and that will take you back to the scout hut. And that's kind of like a walking, scrambling little path. Very pretty. We're going to go up the main access track, which will take us back to the zigzags where we went up the hill where the iron railway was, or would have been in the past. And again, will lead us back to the scout hut. So that'll make it easy for you to get your bearings, but also mainly it'll keep the dog away from the river, which is why it's my choice for today. So this is a massive path. You can't really get this one wrong. Come on, boy. Good dog. Steepens up for a little bit and then turns back left on itself at the top onto the flat part of the track. But we'll pick it up when we get up there, because I don't want to be climbing up here and talking and holding the camera at the same time. Reveal how unfit I am. So here's our main way up the side, and at the top of this hill up through there is the Dewerstone Rock that we were on earlier on the walk. So I'll see you at the top. So there's track we come up, steep but not too long. You get up to here, you're going to turn sharp left. If you carry straight on where the dog's gone at the minute, that'll take you to the top of the Dewerstone Rocks, the climbing area. And on the way up there's another path that cuts off to the right that goes across, tracking along the side of the river, and that'll take you to the bottom of the Dewerstone area. And then the top of the Dewerstone Rock that we were standing on is up through the trees up there, so you can work your way up there. But we're going to go back this way to pick up the track back to the scout hut. Come on. So all the ascent is nearly done. Lots of options. If it was less dangerous by the river, I would probably either walk up, well, either bank of the Meavy is good. So if you stay on this side, if you cross the bridge and come up this side, there's a path that takes you back up to the scout hut eventually. It's a lovely walk. If you go over the road bridge at the bottom rather than through the car park, there's another little car park just the other side of the river, and you can work your way out the back of there. And then there's this harder path, but still perfectly doable. We'll walk you up the other bank of the Meavy and take you all the way up to where we parked. But that's the ascent mainly done for us now. Seems a shame to have dropped all the way down the other side just to cross the river and then walk back up, but such is life. So this is now the track back to the scout hut. A couple of little quarries we walk past on the way, and then we'll see the diagonal incline railroad that we walked up to get up to the top. So here we are, after 5 minutes, walk past a couple of little quarries, flat, quite pretty little walk actually along this track, and then Ralph's at the base of the incline that we went up earlier on. So to complete this particular loop, we're going to go left down this track we've gone up the banks of the Meavy. Down there you can just see the path working its way along the left-hand bank of the Meavy. Okay, so that's again a lovely little walk alternative to coming up this way. They're all going to lead you back to the same place at the scout hut, and then it's back up the track to the car. I haven't even stopped for a cup of coffee today. It's just been sort of like a soggy keep walking day, but there you go. So here we are back at the start, 2 3/4 hours I think, about 9.5 kilometers. Quite a nice walk really, very mellow on a wet day. So lots of options. If you go over the bridge, there's the walking the railway line there. You can pick up the path down the other side, or if you go on the railway line, it's a cycle path now. It's a fairly short walk up through a tunnel to Meavy and a pint in the Skylark. But I think the dog and I are done for today. So walk number 2 of 2025 for Dartmoor. All right, half the country's under snow today, but Devon just got the rain, which is a bit of a shame really. But there you go. I squeezed a day out, didn't we, Ralph? Can you say goodbye, Ralph? Say goodbye. Yeah. Okay. Bye.